Made it so I can open the SEC filings right in Godel, so I don't have to leave Godel at all, which makes my day even a little bit more productive. So every time I improve my process by even 5%, that means I can look at one more stock from 20 to 21 every day. That 21st stock might be the big winner. A lot of people, every rookie I meet in investing, they say the same thing. Oh, I love stock X, stock Y. Maybe it's Cassava today, maybe it's some other shitty stock tomorrow. GameStop, AMC. When the whole GameStop, AMC thing came around, people were saying, Shkreli, you're out of prison. Great. What do you think about AMC? And I'd say, okay, let me look at it. I'd say, why do you like this thing? What's the story? And they tell me the story, and I said, let me ask you something. Forget about AMC for a second. How much of your money do you have in AMC? And they'd say something like, oh, I'm all in. I said, okay. Let me ask you something else. How many stocks have you looked at to determine that AMC is the best stock? And they say, I looked at a couple of stocks. I'd say, how many have you really looked at? Because you know a lot about AMC, but do you know a lot about Intel? Do you know a lot about NVIDIA? Do you know a lot about Microsoft? Do you know a lot about any other stock? Even AMC's own competitors. They're like, no, I'm just focused on this one. Well, why? You can find a better stock that's going to go up. In fact, AMC, when I said that, went down 95%. 95%. Virtually any other stock would have beaten AMC. Forget finding something like an NVIDIA or something like that. But any other stock would have beaten AMC. Even GameStop. But you're in GameStop and it's underperforming. Well, maybe you could have bought in Datadog. Maybe you could have bought Kava. Maybe you could have bought anything. But you got to look. You got to turn over those rocks, hundreds, thousands of rocks, and you'll find the one that is the best of the best. You know what you should do? Almost make it like, I mean, this is stupid. This is like me as a little kid. I used to watch a lot of sports. Wasn't a whole lot to do in Brooklyn. So I was obsessed with sports. I had a big baseball card collection. One of my favorite things was the Final Four, the Sweet 16, the NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness. Make yourself a little bracket, but instead of sports teams, this is really stupid, but this is better than what most people are doing. You just put in each stock, Cadence Design Systems versus, Cassava. Okay, we know which one's going to go to the next round. If you do this, you'll get some decent portfolio, to be honest. But don't stop and say, okay, let's look at a couple more. Which ones have we been looking at? TARS. Okay. My worst stock ADMA. Piece of shit. Here's ExxonMobil, whatever. So let's say you keep going down this list. Remember, there's 64 of these fuckers. All right? And you say, you know what, this ADMA looks great. I really like it. I want to buy it. Well, okay, you can do that. But does it look better than this one too? And then does it look better than this one? How far does it make it? Does it make it to the Final Four? And here's the thing. Every investor has their weaknesses. Remember what I said last week? You should sell ADMA whether or not you make money by Thursday. That's good trading advice. Did I follow that good trading advice? No, I didn't. And there's poker players who'll tell you, like, even though you should do this in a poker hand, sometimes they say, you know what, I'm going to do that. And those mistakes can cost me or that poker player a lot of money. Or they can just work out that one time by accident, by luck. But you don't have to make those mistakes. You don't necessarily have to make the same mistake. So some of the best coaches, think about it this way. Magnus Carlsen had a chess coach, right? I met this guy, Bruce Pandolfini, super nice guy. One of the best chess coaches of all time. He's immortalized in a film called Searching for Bobby Fischer. And he's coached many of the greatest chess players. But his peak rating was 2,200. Not that high. I beat 2,200 tournament players before. good old Brooklyn guy. He stopped playing professional chess 50 years ago. But he taught some of the best chess players ever, including Josh Waitzkin. And his ability to teach was better than his ability to play. And he's written a lot of books. Jesus, more books than I remember. And he's one of the best coaches ever. Now, I also had a different chess coach, a guy named Yaroslav, who's one of the best in the world. He also tried playing amateur poker. Did fairly well there. And Yaroslav is like top 50, top 100 chess player in the world. I like Yaroslav a lot. He's not as good of a coach as Bruce. Bruce is very good at coaching and also good at playing. He's great at coaching, good at playing. Yaroslav is amazing at playing and okay at coaching. He's not a bad coach, but he's not like Bruce. And Yaroslav's very young. Bruce retired 20 years before Yaroslav was born. So, you just have to sort of listen to what people say, but not blindly. Listen and integrate it into your own stuff. There are some things where you kind of should listen blindly, but when that happens, I'll sort of tell you, everything else, and even then you might not choose to use it or whatever. But, try to be intelligent about what you learn from me, and then try to be intelligent about what you learn from reading about Warren Buffett and watching his annual meetings, reading all the stuff you can about him. Maybe you have somebody IRL that you talk stocks with, learn something from them, including their mistakes. So there's a lot of ways to win in this crazy stock market world. And I'm happy to play a really, really small part in that. All right, so let's figure out if Cadence Design Systems is something we want to spend a lot of time on. This is a major software company, so for me, I kind of have to spend time on it regardless, because it's a major software company. So if I don't know it, it'd be weird. The same way it'd be weird if I didn't know, Pfizer or Merck as a pharma CEO or pharma investor. Or if a pro poker player never heard of lowball or some other weird poker game, people would say, "Are you really a pro? You never played lowball once? Not once?" So you kind of just have to know your territory a little bit. And that's why I always recommend stick to one sector. You want to study utilities? Study utilities. You want to study biopharma? Study biopharma. You want to study tech? Narrow that down. Tech is a lot of stuff. Narrow that down. Software? Even that you can narrow down. Enterprise software. There's a lot of things that you can call software. Payment software. Consumer software. There's just so much. And once you narrow down to a space that you think you can handle, you'll become an expert. There's no better way to become an expert in some sector than following every company in that sector. You read all the press releases, you read all SEC filings, you'll become an expert whether you like it or not. Listen to all the conference calls, read industry websites, and then people will want your expertise. They'll pay for it.